I'd like to call the April Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, the roll call, please.
Laura Sauerman.
Here.
Andrew Karas.
Here.
Brad Bossa.
Here.
Aaron McDermott.
Here.
Craig Slauson.
Here.
Tim Basser.
Here. Next item on the agenda is the approval minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Nothing under old business, new business, the TIF annual report. The big Greg, is that correct? Handling that? You're muted. You're muted, Greg.
It would help if I unmuted myself. Do you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron, do you want to give me the order in which you have your reports? And rather than shuffle, because there's 6 different reports, so we'll go with your lead.
That works. First item would be the US 231 TIF district.
Okay, let me get there and let everybody else get there. Perfect. Well, let's see. Let's see. On the front cover, you've got what? US 231. Got it. Okay. And so what I'll do is I'll go through each of the reports kind of in a summary fashion. When we get to the detailed parcel stuff, I'll kind of stop and leave that out because that is being given to you because this report has to be filed with the DLGF. And if everybody remembers, that's the Department of Local Government Finance. And they want the individual parcel information. So we upload all of that with the clerk's office. So kind of on a summary note on the US 231, the best place to start is the cover letter. And this one's going to be, you gave me a real softball here, Aaron, because this one, as you can see right in the middle, was created in 2022 and has a base value of pay 2023. And the city expects to receive revenue now in 2025. Now notice in each of these reports in the cover letter or on the cover letter, we're going to put in bold here for taxes payable in 2026, there is no excess captured assessed value. The reason I did that for the Redevelopment Commission is by June 15th, you have to make a finding, assuming you agree with me, that there is no excess. You've got to make a finding and get that to the auditor's office. So as far as I'm concerned, we will cover that in each report. And you are, obviously, Alex can get that little resolution together and you can submit that anytime between now and June 15th. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So now let's go to page 1, which you'll see for payable 2025. It's kind of interesting. The county has included over 90 million of assessed value for hospital development that is expected to be tax exempt. We've seen this before. A matter of fact, Laura, you probably saw it back 10 years ago when they actually taxed the hospital. The hospital actually paid it. We actually had to refund it. And here we go again. So the answer is we have talked with Alex, and Alex, I believe you're aware of this. That and the clerk treasurer's working on it too, about getting this removed, because we don't want that to happen again. So let's go to the tax rates are all the same. The next page that's really kind of important is page 4. So page 4 shows there would be over $2 million of taxes. If you wondered what the hospital might be taxed at, right now they have on the books a 2.2 million. So again, we put adjusted 2025 because we expect this to be removed. Now, it doesn't mean that sometime in the future, the hospital area couldn't become, or certain areas of it, and we've seen this in other counties, part of the district becomes, or part of the hospital becomes taxable, and therefore it might yield some TIF. But at this point in time, we expect it to be 0. Okay. We had collected a little bit on page 5. We collected a little bit. County made an error in 23. You know, it's just they need to stay on top of this district. The rest of it then is the parcels, and I will point you then just on this report, because Appendix C is the same in each report. On page 1 of Appendix C, please review these and let me know if we have them right, because it is semi-critical that we get this down, but based upon our information that we received from the clerk, if someone's name spelt wrong or something like that, please let me know. Okay. Same way on appendix or the C2, the Redevelopment Commission does not have any employees, but you are paid for attending the meetings, and you should know that. And on C3, there are no grants and loans. So, any questions on 231? If not, Aaron, which one would you like to move to next?
Next to be the 0.65 allocation area.
Okay. 0.65 allocation. We'll go immediately to the letter of transmittal. This area was created in 2023 with a base value of 2023, taxes payable in 24. Remember, there's always that lag. First TIF revenues will be collected in 2026. The city has pledged all TIF revenues to the Economic Development Revenue Bonds Series 2025, which you know we have already done. We make the same finding because this is the, I'll take you back to it. This is the one where we basically have the developer bonds on page 5. And so the revenue will go to the developer bonds on 0.65. And if you look, we have on page 5, we have those first years capitalized. So the interest is going to be paid by the bond amount. And so what we collect in revenue for 26, we haven't put in the report yet because it hasn't even been assessed, and I'm on page 3. So I jump back to page 3. We don't have 25 net assessed value because it just hasn't been assessed at this point. Okay. And then on page 4, there is no money at this point. And the rest of the document is the same as the first document. Okay, any questions on that? If not, Aaron, what would you like to move to next?
The I-65 allocation area.
I-65 allocation area. So this one obviously is going to be the bigger document. And so the key here, we, you know, in the cover letter, we do say that we've calculated the TIF revenue for page 25. We do again say there's no excess captured assessed value. That's because, as you know, this district we use for a lot of road improvements and various improvements throughout the city, and it's an awesome district for us. So what we should do now is go to basically page 4, and page 4 shows you the district since 2002 and how we have grown up into 2025, and it's gone down slightly, and that's just an adjustment in some of the assessed valuations. Some of the warehouses and things like that get adjusted a little bit. Page 5 shows that this is critical, that we have approximately 3,792,000 in the bank. Notice that we bring that up from 12/31/2024 to the what we consider the current date, 3/1/25. Keep in mind, as Laura knows, we are trying to get $1 million out of the TIF district in 2025 to assist with the wastewater and water projects as we move forward. So that was budgeted, and we're hoping maybe we can go forward with that in future years. But at this point in time, we don't know if that is certain or not. Okay, there is on page 6, because we do have the bond, 2 bonds outstanding. I'm going to go right to those, and then I'm going to back up on the revenue. So I'm on page 11. We have the 15 bonds, and on page 12, we have the 2023 bonds. Okay, so that's our 2 debts outstanding. As a result of that, we do have to have a debt service reserve, and that's why I'm moving back to page 6. Sorry to have you flip around a little bit, but that's what the debt service reserve goes to. So I just wanted to point that out, that $890,000 has to sit there until we pay those bonds off. Notice it doesn't grow in interest, but it does receive interest, and that goes to the operating fund, basically. Okay, so what I'd like to point out then on page 9 is, as you can see here, we're expecting the revenue to increase slightly in payable 24, and then on page 10 is the 25 projections, 25, 26, 27. So we do expect the revenue to increase some over a period of time. Notice we keep the tax rate the same. We do that because, you know, we just don't know what's going on, what's going to finally come out of downtown Indianapolis. Although we're hearing a lot, we're not certain exactly what will come out. So that's page 10. Now, the critical thing then that you would ask is on page 13, kind of the whole point of this report too, is do we have enough coverage to pay our bonds? Well, on page 13, lucky 13, you can see that we are estimating 2.8 million. You can see the 2 bonds, the 23 and the 15, and you can see that they consume $951,000. So we do have substantial coverage of 1.8 or 2.96 times, or 296%. That's good. That is over one of the thresholds of 200%, and that is where the council could ultimately disagree with, we've never had that, disagree and say we should release some assessed value. But again, council is very aware that we've made some good investments in the community with this TIF district, and it's very, very valuable. So that's page 13. On the rest of the pages, again, are detailed parcels and or similar to the other pages. And there is a little map that's, it's black and white, might be color on yours, but we do include that because these are uploaded again to the DLGF. Any questions on that one? That's the biggest report. So if you need a minute, if not, Aaron, I will follow your lead on the next.
It looks like Laura's name might be misspelled.
Oh. So on this one or on all of them?
I don't know.
I think
just
it's on
noticed
all of
on
them.
this one. Is it all of them?
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, thanks for catching that. I missed it.
Yeah. So we got, yeah, okay. I will correct that. Those names get us every time.
Oh, yeah, transpose the U and the A. It looks
Yeah.
like. Okay.
That's why it didn't stand out really quick.
It's a lot of vowels in a row, Greg.
Kind of like my last name.
Yeah.
You really don't want to use it. Although yours is pretty easy to use. Okay, thank you for that, Aaron. And any others on those? We got your name right. I know that.
I didn't even look at mine.
Everybody look at their name.
Next we'd have West 109th Avenue.
Okay. Perfect. That's the one I have. So let's go to the letter of transmittal. And what you will see here is the area was created in 2018 with a base assessed valuation as of January 2018, taxes payable in 19, first revenues collected in 20, the pledge of all TIF revenues to the economic development bonds 2019 and the economic development bonds of 2021. The important thing is on both of those bonds, the city is not on the hook. These are developer owned bonds. City also pledged 123 per year from the city I-65 TIF area, and that was negotiated at the time. Obviously, you're going to see from the numbers because whenever we get any dollars in this TIF district, they're transferred to the trustee, and then the trustee pays the debt service. But since this is still ramping up, what I will do is take you right to page 4. And what you'll see is we are expecting it to ramp up now to $82 million and receive approximately 2,020. Now, if you notice on page 5, I told you, excuse me, everything we get in is transferred to the trustee. And that's why you see an in and an out. Okay. As you know from prior reports, page 6 and 7 is the debt service on those bonds. And as you can tell, we're getting close to being break even on this. But again, we do not have to supplement the payment. So we pay what we get. And that was by design. Any questions on this one?
What's the prevailing rate for a bond these days right now?
Well, if we were to do a tax exempt bond with a property tax backup, it'd be approximately 4%.
And what's the coverage ratio? Is it 2 to 1 that they want to see? Is that what I heard you say?
At a minimum, 1.5.
Okay. Given our state at some point, does it make sense to start looking into refinancing that bond out?
Well, that would be a legal question, and it is I don't know when the call date and the call parameters are. And if it was called, there may be the risk, the developer will want to put the risk back on us, Aaron, more than likely. So, that's a that's a question we'd have to explore a lot more. But right now, we're not really that close.
Yeah, no.
Something to keep in mind in the next couple of years.
And what's the, how much is owed on that bond right now?
Well, the 14.8 plus the 10, so it's pretty much the 24 million.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure. Again, remember, this was the first
Oh, that's,
developer TIF, first, all of that we kind of did with you. And the second one, we did get down from they wanted 9.5 on both bonds. And obviously we renegotiated or negotiated a lower rate on the 2021 bonds.
sure. I'm just between the two bonds that, looks like that'd probably be a blended rate of well into the eights. If we're
Yeah.
saying 4% on 28 million, it's a pretty, what is that? 1.2 or 120,000 a year?
But remember, Aaron, that was what I said was the answer was that would be a 20-year bond. That would be with a property tax backup. And so you want to be careful with that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's immediate. Just thinking out loud. That's all.
Yeah. The developer bonds that we're doing now, we'd like to try and keep around 6%. Developer always, if they're taking the risk, they always want more than that, but we try and achieve the lowest rate we can through negotiations, through the mayor's office in Europe and the redevelopment commission, obviously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
Next, the Main Street.
Okay, Main Street, that one took a lot of turns in its life. Again, we say there's no excess because we have plans on utilizing this money also for road capital improvement. But the most significant thing on this one is go page 4, and you'll see we're expecting about 304,000 for 2025. As you know, in the early part of this project in 15, there was delays, it changed, changed ownership and things like that. And so the key was that we got out of, we made some partial payments, but we got out of any liability on a developer TIF there. So if you look at page 5 here, we have, and actually that 24 needs to be a 25. I just noticed that. We have the balance as of March 1.4 million. And, we anticipate using that for some projects in and around the area. So no debt on this one.
Okay.
What is the next one?
Final, or I'm sorry, Sportsplex.
Sportsplex. Okay. If you go to the cover letter, the city created a new fund, Sportsplex, in 2019. They wanted us to split it out from the other TIF districts, and we were able to. And so we have our TIF, Sportsplex TIF. We make the same findings in 2026. This one will go again back to page basically 4. It's performed some, but we expected this, right? Because this give us an opportunity to get some of that property, those property taxes, and invest it in the area. This does not have debt. So we're able to use the 40,000 and basically make some improvements. I noted, and I should have pointed this out on all of them, on the bottom of page 4, keep in mind the tax rate does not contain the school referendum rate. School referendum rate is charged in the TIF district, but it's collected wholly by the school. So if a school comes to you ever and says it impacts us, I think the important point is it does not impact the referendum. They will collect their referendum if it's 20 cents. I looked at it. It's back there on the tax sheet. And actually, the school referendum rate is 18 cents. So they collect back on page 3, if you're interested, they collect that full amount, and that is why we use the net tax rate. So in 2025, the referendum rate is 18 cents. And you can see they've had that 21 cents for a long time, and then it's trended down now. That's what's required. And then finally, on page 5, we've got $198,000 as of the end of March or the beginning of March. Questions on that?
Does it sound like?
If not, I think you're going to go to 2023 Delaware expansion.
Right.
That's the last one I have. This is going to be really easy too, because as you know, for this was recently created for taxes payable. There's no excess. This and actually on page 1, it says the city will create a new fund. We have to remember the state made us take all of these and create fund by fund on the fund report. And so you'll see that the city will create a new fund, 2023 Delaware TIF fund, once TIF revenue is received, hopefully after May and June. And so we'll do that here in 2025. And we work closely with the clerk treasurer's office to get that done. And they know that. And by the way, we will be budgeting that then for 2026. Okay. And so right now, on page 4, we're anticipating for 2025, 94,000 of AV. So, and not much revenue, about $2,000. So next page, page 5, there's nothing available at this point. So that concludes my presentation on the 6 TIF reports. What we would like to do is get a basically get the okay from the Redevelopment Commission to with the correction of Laura's name, and it is on the agenda tonight for the council. They are just taking note of the 6 TIF reports unless they've got a specific question, or Laura, if you think there's something I really need to cover with council. I told the mayor I'd do about a 5-minute overview because you don't formally approve them as a council. The Redevelopment Commission reviews them, recommends to send them on or not, but we will send them on if you direct us so with the correction. And the sending on would be obviously tonight they're going to go to the council, and then by April 15th or April 14th, something like that, they go to the DLGF. So, any questions?
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Greg?
I do not.
If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Before we do that, Laura, can you verify for me, were you here in person in February or March?
I was here in person in March.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're compliant with the statute with regard to Zoom meetings. So we can get the motion when we call for the vote, we need to do it via roll call.
Okay. But we can't do it.
We can,
Yeah.
do we can.
Okay.
So the statute basically says you can't attend more than two consecutive meetings via Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So I want to
Okay,
make sure, I couldn't remember whether Laura was here.
No, I haven't missed 2 in a row. Or I mean, I haven't been video 2 in a row.
We'll do 2 in a row. It's 3 where it kicks in. So we're okay there. We just need to make sure that when we call the vote, it needs to be via roll call.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the TIF annual report.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have to do a roll call for the vote. Let's start, Heather, go ahead.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes.
Craig Slauson,
Yes.
Tim Basser.
Thank you. I will report to council that you approved it and moved it on, and then we will file it with the DLGF.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you.
Next item on the agenda is wrapped in history. So,
Do you want my packet?
No.
Okay. Were you gonna speak?
Is this the main or the square?
Jesse?
So yeah, this is something that Mary, the communications director, was working on. It's basically the partnership with the community foundation. They agreed to supply a grant to the city to help fund. We know that we have several large junction boxes that control the traffic lights, the silver ones. So this is basically it's wrapping these in historical photos and to make it more appealing and beautify the downtown square. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that in conjunction with the community foundation grant that Mary was seeking a certain number of funds from the RDC to make the project.
Yes.
in the packet, I'm
She
sorry.
received 3,000, a matching grant. So,
So I believe she was requesting the 3,000 as a matching grant for the city to get the project underway. It's being fulfilled by a local business, so it should be this spring and summer.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Recommendations?
And may I ask where these pictures are coming from? Where they're going to be?
So they're just a variety of historical renderings of each. I can't remember the number of boxes that we have. I believe it's 6 in and around the square. So they're different photos. They're not all the exact same. I don't have the exact nature of the photos, but it's
Oh, each one will be different. I was picturing some kind of a collage or something. You're
Yeah.
saying each
Yeah.
box will like be a different portrait or a different building or a different
Yeah.
event.
Some of them are nature type renderings and so forth. So just to help, as I said, overall beautify the downtown square rather than looking at metallic. So
How long does the wrap last?
it's got I don't know the number of years, but we were pretty happy with the warranty on it from the local vendor. So the specific warranty or shelf life, I'm not sure.
So it doesn't have to be replaced every year.
Right.
Okay.
And then they did say, let's say for some reason there was some kind of defection in the wrap, that they would come out and take care of that.
Mr. Chairman, through the chair to Mayor, what is the staff's recommendation?
I would recommend if we could supply the $3,000 matching grant that we got from the community foundation. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions or the staff or mayor? Not the chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we match the $3,000 grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying,
Roll call
oh, roll call again. Okay,
for everyone.
for everyone. Okay.
Laura Sauerman,
Yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa.
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes.
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
Thank you. So moved. Next item on the agenda is the Bulldog Park update.
Yes, just give this board an update. I was here a couple months ago. We did a couple projects where we approved funding for the expansion of the Bulldog Park stage. That equipment is in. We are actually putting that in tomorrow. We have done some concrete work, which will start here in the next couple of weeks. That's not through this commission, but it's paid through PACE funds that we've set aside for that. On the downside, however, I know we came in here 2 months ago and there was a trust system that we approved, not to exceed a certain dollar amount of 15,000. When we went to place that order, we've been notified that those have been tariffed. So we're starting to get pushback on a lot of that stuff. I was able to go back, renegotiate with the company and take advantage of stuff they had in stock stateside, and they were able to hold some of that pricing. However, the price is going to exceed the 15,000. We were able to get it for just over 15,700, but I wanted to bring it to this board's attention to amend that 15,000 threshold if we could to cover the expense of that. We're more than likely we're going to expect this more and more as we go, but this is the one that we had on this not to exceed. That being said, we did have 3 quotes on that. Even at the 15.7, the vendor that we chose is still less than the other 2. So I think we're still in good standing to approve.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Are there other funding possibilities through the Sportsplex, or I'm sorry, through the Bulldog Park funds, where some funds could be moved around, Adam, that would cover the extra $700?
We could. I mean, that's always a possibility. I mean, that's up to the board. I think we approved the project, but if the board so chooses to move the 700 from elsewhere, we could do that as well. The actual dollar amount in addition is $739.76.
I don't know, maybe our financial planner's gone. I don't know if Greg is still there. I mean.
Oh, I'm here.
seems-
I'm here.
Is there some kind of benefit to go through the RDC? I feel like we use the RDC money for kind of bigger things. And
Well, I believe this was in part of some larger things that we did, the stage itself, plus this one. I believe, Greg, I think it was your recommendation at the time to use some of those TIF funds for those capital expenses as we moved for not only Bulldog Park, but the Sportsplex as well.
Oh,
I'm not arguing, Adam. I'm just
You're good.
looking at funding options.
yeah. And Laura, where I would come is that we do have extra in our TIFs, a little bit extra. And I would highly recommend any property tax dollars or any funds that are subject to property tax dollars, which Sportsplex and all of that ultimately comes back. We want to be very, very careful and reserve all of those dollars that we can because of Senate Bill 1. That would be my recommendation.
So that the RDC not cover the extra dollars, or the RDC does cover the extra dollars?
The RDC does.
Yes, okay. I wanted to-
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for that.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other questions? Not the chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to include the extra $739.36.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a
It
second.
was 76 cents.
Oh,
76. Got it.
Oh, you can make up the 50 cent there.
Very big.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And then we'll do a roll call for the vote.
Laura Sowerman,
Yes,
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott,
Yes,
Craig Slauson.
Yes,
Very good. Thank
so
you.
moved. Thank you. Next, I'm on the agenda. Well, any other business to come before the board? Next would be approval of invoices.
Move to approve payment list 2025-431.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move for a roll call vote.
Laura Sowerman,
Yes,
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes.
Craig Slauson.
yes.
Next, I'm on the agenda miscellaneous. Josh, I believe you have something for us.
Yes, sir. I'm not asking for any money, so this should be easy. This year, the 2025 Ethics Training for Board and Commission members is on Thursday, May 29th. I passed out a flyer to each of you. Stuff like this I actually personally enjoy. So please, it is a free seminar. If you are available that night, I highly encourage you just to come. It's at Avalon Manor. There's a free dinner to come for being in attendance. And quite frankly, even if you learn one thing, it's well worth the trip. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Mr. Chairman, a quick follow-up to that. I serve on the Joint Board of Delegates for the Shared Ethics Commission since it was established in 2000. So we're celebrating our 25th year. So I encourage the board members, this is just for board members, commissioners, and I think you'll find it very valuable. Crown Point, Cherville, and Highland were the three communities that established this commission. And now there's probably about 50.
Something like that. And to any board member that wants to attend, even if you don't feel like going through the hassle of signing up, just let me know. I'll sign up for you.
Thank you. Excellent. All right. Next item is adjournment. I'll close the meeting. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Oh, sorry. I need a motion and roll call for that. Thought I could do that.
Roll call for adjournment?
Well, I mean, every vote is out. I don't know.
Oh, because we have somebody else.
Because you have somebody else.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we have to move for roll call for adjournment.
Laura Sowerman,
yes.
Andrew Karas.
Yes.
Brad Bossa,
Yes.
Aaron McDermott.
Yes.
Craig Slauson.
Yes.
Thank you.